Fostering New Beginnings, the CCIS story. Since 1981, Calgary Catholic Immigration Society, CCIS, has been a beacon of hope for refugees and immigrants in our community. We stand as a community leader, offering comprehensive services through a diverse team of dedicated professionals, serving newcomers out of 26 locations across Calgary and southern Alberta. We are deeply rooted in the heart of our communities, ensuring accessible support for all. From employment to family and children's services, we cover it all, with over 95 programs and services tailored to every aspect of settlement and integration. Our team, a mosaic of cultures comprising more than 450 employees and 2,000 volunteers, collectively speaks more than 70 languages, ensuring every client feels heard, understood, and valued, making CCIS a beacon of diversity and inclusion. In partnership, we empower immigrants and refugees to successfully settle and integrate in our communities. Our vision is to build an inclusive society where immigrants and refugees can reach their full potential. CCIS, transforming lives, one new beginning at a time.
Hello and welcome to this LinkedIn live chat. We're delighted that you are joining us today. I'm Somesh, the Media Relations Specialist at Calgary Catholic Immigration Society, or CCIS as we're better known. CCIS is a non-profit, non-denominational agency committed to making immigration a positive experience for refugees, immigrants, and the community. CCIS offers over 95 programs in 26 locations throughout Calgary and surrounding areas, supporting all aspects of settlement and integration. With over 450 staff collectively speaking 70 languages, we are the largest immigrant serving agency in the prairies and one of the top three in Canada. As settlers or descendants of settlers, and through our work with new residents on this land, we share our commitment to reinforcing Indigenous permanence, truth-telling, and reconciliation process. We all are treaty people and hold responsibility to the land that we reside, work, love, play, raise our children, the land of the traditional territories of the Blackfoot Confederacy, Siksika, Kainai, Piikani, the Tsuut'ina, the Stoney Nakoda Nations, the Métis Nation of Alberta, Region 3. Today, we are here to celebrate the resilience, ambition, and contribution of Black newcomers who have navigated new landscapes, overcome challenges, and built meaningful legacies in their communities and industries. Immigrating to a new country is more than just a change in geography. It is a journey of adaptation, perseverance, and ultimately impact. Each of our panelists has a unique story of transformation from their first steps in a new land to the incredible work they do today. Through their experiences, we'll explore what it takes to turn arrival into opportunity and opportunity into lasting success. With that being said, it is my pleasure to introduce our wonderful panelists today. And our panelists include Abimbola Fawumi. She happens to be a pharmacist and business owner. Stella Okunoye, senior procurement representative. Ronke Omorodion, she's a business lawyer. Wilton Otto, co-founding member of Hutchmill Global Limited. Dennis Agbegha, regional manager, BDC, and a community leader. Whether you are a newcomer yourself, part of community that supports immigrants, or just curious about these journeys, this conversation will offer valuable insights and inspiration. And now, to those who are joining us live, we encourage you to engage with us in the comments section. If you have any questions for our panelists, please feel free to ask them in the comments, and we'll do our best to address as many as we can. So, without further ado, let's get started. Our panelists, thank you so much for joining us today. With our time constraint, you will have 2 minutes to answer the questions that I will ask each of you, which I understand is a very short time for people with such achievements and experience. So I apologize in advance. And the first round of questions, we'll start with Abimbola Fawumi. Abimbola, as you know, representation in healthcare is crucial, yet Black professionals often face significant barriers in entering and advancing within the industry. As a Black newcomer navigating a highly regulated profession, what challenges did you encounter while breaking into Canada's healthcare system? Additionally, you might also want to tell us what strategies or support systems helped you overcome these obstacles and establish yourself as a successful pharmacist and a business owner as well.
Yeah, thank you so much, Somesh. Before I answer your question, I would like to say a big thank you to CCIS for using their platform for this great event. And I would like to say happy Black History Month to everyone involved. Okay, so my name is Abimbola Fawumi. Most people call me Bola. I'm a pharmacist and I'm an associate owner at Shoppers Drug Mart located at Legacy. So I migrated to Canada, that was in 2018, as a young pharmacist from Nigeria. I knew what I was getting myself into when I moved. So I would say my journey was everything but straightforward. So the main challenge I had was getting someone to hold my hands through the process. I knew what I was going into before I moved. I knew I was coming to Canada to get my license, but the main challenge was getting someone to tell me that, okay, Bola, I've been through this process. These are the challenges I faced, and these were the outcome, and these were the pathways I followed that helped me to get my license. But it was almost impossible for me. I had to use Google to search, and I was able to get across an organization. I joined their tutorial, and that was how my journey began in Canada. So I would say one of the things that helped me to overcome the challenge was number one, not giving up. Every single person who knows me would know that I'm a very hard to crack kind of person. I don't give up on my dream. I'm a very, very focused person. I think that kind of helped me. And along the line, even though I wasn't able to get in touch with people that would mentor me through the process, I started meeting people as well. I started telling my stories to them, like, okay, this is where I'm going to. How do I get there? And how, yeah.
Wonderful. And hats off to you for not giving up. Now I'll move on to Stella. Stella, your career journey is truly inspiring, and it's a testament to the limitless possibilities that come with determination. Transitioning from biology to the supply chain field is no small feat, and many professionals find this career shift daunting. What key resources or support systems helped you successfully navigate this transition? Also, as a Black newcomer, what were some of the biggest challenges you faced, and how did you overcome them?
Thank you so much, Samesh. It's always a pleasure connecting with CCIS. Thank you for having me here today. For me, right from Nigeria, I came in from Nigeria in 2023. So before I made the move, I had already fully transitioned to supply chain because I started my pivot journey about over 10 years ago. So I think one of the things that really helped me was getting a business degree. I think that really opened up new channels for me to explore. Also, my professional certification in supply chain (SIPS) that also helped me a whole deal. And coming to Canada, those two qualifications helped push me ahead. But one challenge that I had when I came into Canada as a newcomer was establishing my credibility, because I'm coming from two different markets, the African market going into the North American market. I had to prove that I could transfer the skills that I had into the Canadian culture. So I had to like learn the contract laws, learn how to negotiate in Canada, know all the procurement acts that applied in Canada, and that really
Mhm.
helped me a whole lot. So I would say doing my research and knowing how to build on my transferable skills really helped me.
Indeed, knowing where you are entering is really important, and as you said, credibilities was a big challenge, and good that you could overcome that. I will move on to Ronke. Ronke, because credibility, and she is a business lawyer, so she would know more about credibility as well. Ronke, your journey is to becoming a lawyer in Canada is undoubtedly one of success stories of perseverance and determination. Can you tell us about the challenges you faced and what resources or changes that made you navigate this scene?
Thank you so much, and happy Black History Month to everyone as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, first challenge was relocating because I had a practice in Nigeria and it was difficult leaving all that. I had a private practice, leaving my clients and coming over here. But luckily, CCIS was really helpful. We got to know about the SOPA program and we registered for it. And that preparing us that okay, when you land, it's not going to be all a bed of roses. You would have to face these challenges. You would have to start from the scratch. Don't think it's your lowest level, but things will get better. So the mindset, we had already prepared our mindset before coming. I knew how many exams I would have to do because I took the accreditation process before relocating. And prior to that, I hadn't written an exam in 8 years, so I was rusty. I didn't like reading. I didn't want to read, but then I had to, right? And because I was prepared, I was able to go through the exams, even if it was difficult. But I had a full-time job and I had to study, right? So juggling that was a challenge. And also getting an articling position was really challenging. That's the internship we do before we get called to the bar. I was competing with people that schooled here and they had an advantage over people like us that came from different country, and it's not our fault or their fault. It's just that it is the way life is, right? You're more comfortable working with someone that looks like you or someone you understand, right? So those were really challenging, but luckily I was able to get a position after searching for 8 months, and I decided I wasn't going to give up, right? And I was able to get a position, and that was really, really helpful for me. And it just made me believe that yes, like what CCIS taught us, it's not the end, right? Even if you start as an assistant, you
Mhm.
can also grow up to become something better. And for things I think they should change, I wouldn't say there's much because there were lots of resources available to us when we came in, and it's just about finding those information. So I would say people should connect with their community and try to get those information because there are lots of resources available for professionals to
Mm.
develop their skills. Thank you.
Mhm.
So yeah, thank you, Ronki. And this is one common theme that I see developing, and it probably will continue throughout the conversation. That knowing that going to Canada is not going to be a bed of roses. Yes,
Mhm.
it's a land of opportunities. We agree, but it's
Mhm.
not going to be a bed of roses. And as a person from who has come from a mountainous country and now we're in Calgary, which is next to Rockies, I believe relocating to a different country is like moving mountains. And then hats off to all of you for being able to move your mountains. I'll go on to Wilton. And Wilton, your journey is truly dynamic. and inspiring, moving from Sudan to Hong Kong as a refugee and eventually settling here in Canada. One might assume that your primary focus upon arrival would have been on settling and integrating, maybe find a job and start working. What motivated you to dream beyond that and pursue business? Where did you find the audacity, if I may say so, to start your own company?
Thank you, Thomas, and thank you, ISS, for this opportunity. And once again, happy Black History Month for everyone. Yes, my journey of displacement in different countries was really filled with challenges, and I that could have maybe defined my path. But for me, those challenges became the foundations of my ambitions. When I arrived in Canada, yes, my immediate focus was on settling in, integration. But I quickly realized that, survival wasn't enough. I wanted to thrive, not just for myself, but also to create something that inspired others, especially new immigrants with similar background like mine. So what motivated me to dream beyond, for example, settling in, it was the realization that my unique experience, my resilience, adaptability, and the perspective that I have in life are actually assets that I can use, not a limitation. And to your question about audacity, where did I find that from? I think audacity isn't something you find, honestly. It is what remains, when the world keeps saying you can't. Put simply, I refuse to let, for example, a system define my story. And my dream have always been, to kind of like uh, dream bigger than my own survival. So I think I found it in a lot of my past history of, let's say, starting selling sugarcane at 13, persistent of hawking, goods from door to door in the streets of Kampala, rejection that you face when you do hawking, of course, And also I found it in the courage, to piece real stars when I was in Egypt with no cars but words. And in Hong Kong, the defiance, because of the status, I was maybe not allowed to do the traditional business. So I turned that into online drop shipping. And those are kind of experience that kind of helped me to see that, audacity is built by pushing limits. And I've never stopped doing that. Yeah, thank you.
And thank you for that audacity. And I would believe that, and I love the fact that you say that rejection, a constant rejection, made you stronger. A lot of people would have given up and compromised. And thank you for not compromising, so that we're here today and celebrating your success. And I'll move on to Dennis. And Dennis, your shining presence in Calgary's professional circles is truly evident. You're actively engaged in networking events, fostering connections across industries. Networking is key to career success, as many have now also accepted, especially for black professionals. How has it influenced your own journey, and what can be done to create more inclusive networks that better support Black newcomers in advancing their careers?
Oh, no, thank you so much. Just listening to everybody's just been inspiring, from Wilson's story to Ronke to everybody. So thank you so much. Uh, so coming to a new country, I know it could be daunting. It's really, really daunting. However, for me, I think one of the ways that I was able to integrate faster into this community is basically through networking. You come to a new place, you really don't know so much. The best place to do it is networking. Be out there, get to meet new people, get to see people in the community, check out your community association. I found out that just being part of these things made me go faster, made me integrate faster than many people who came at the same time. Right. So And every time I kind of I always I recommend to every newcomer to say, hey, get the habit of networking, get the habit of going out there. It teaches you things you need to unlearn and things that you need to learn. We know we've come from different cultures. There's certain things we see here that you're going to learn, but all of those things you do just help you integrate. It also helps you contribute better to the society, because when you get here, remember that we all have a common destiny. So if Canada fails, we all fail, right? So by going into this into networking, it helps me understand that, hey, I am part of this country, I am welcome here, and I need to do my best to support the community. So that's for me, I think. How networking has helped me. Are there many networking opportunities for newcomers, or whether they are black or different groups? Yes, they are. There are so many networking opportunities, so many networking groups. Sometimes they are based on country of origin. Sometimes they're either like Black Founders Network. Sometimes they are like Entrepreneurs Network. So there's so many of such of these organizations available. So I encourage everyone that, I know it's not easy to go out of your comfort zone, but be part of this network. That's where you're going to learn. That's where you're going to get information. That's where you're going to learn about business. That's how you're going to learn how to fight. How to, just like what to say, that audacity. Be audacious. There's so much we can learn by being part of that network, and so I encourage everyone to join them. And if you need any help, I'll be so happy to help you find one of those organizations.
Well, thank you, and it's amazing that you're ready to help anybody anytime. One thing that stuck with me is, Dennis, unlearning and learning. A lot of us, when we come from a different country, we are very shy to start out, and that's where the opportunities are. And this unlearning that and learning that networking is really going to advance their careers. So, if you're just joining us, welcome to our discussion, from Arrival to Impact: Black Newcomers Shaping Success and Legacy. If you have any questions, please drop it in your comment section, and we would be happy to take the comments or questions. And let me get back to our panelists again. And Abimbola, I'll go back to you. As a successful pharmacist and business owner, you've had to navigate unique challenges in the healthcare industry. What systemic or mental barriers prevent more Black pharmacists from owning their own businesses? And what solutions do you believe are necessary to create more opportunities?
Okay. Thank you so much for the question. I think I'm going to start from where Dennis stopped. I would say the first barrier I've been able to maybe figure out, which I kind of, I would say suffered from, was maybe mindset. I'm going to tell everyone listening out there, for me, I had to work on my mindset. We are all from different countries. Canada is a home for everyone. We have several perspectives. It could be maybe by speaking to people, oh, what do you think about this profession? What do you think about this company? We all need to work on our mindset. Start up on a new plate, on a clean sheet, with a clean mindset that, okay, I don't care about the barriers. I don't care about what other people might have said. I'm going into this organization with the mindset of, I can get there, I can do it. So I think that's the first main problem I feel is affecting most people, especially because I get so many people contact me through LinkedIn. They come to my store, they want to have a chat with me. They are just moved. I don't talk. I let them do the talking first. I want to know what their perspective is. You just moved to Canada, so what do you think? What do you want to do? That's number one. Number two, most people don't even have a goal set for themselves. If you move into a new country and you're starting all over, it's important to do yourself a favor of having a goal set, because it's going to be a long journey. and you want to at least have a goal set for yourself. So the first thing is the mindset. If the mindset is great and clean, and if the goal is set, then we can always start from somewhere. Another thing I would say is reaching out to people who had gone ahead would always make the path very easy. Not too easy, but at least you're one step ahead of other people. Yeah. Did I answer your questions?
Well, pretty much. I mean,
Okay.
I couldn't
That's
have
good.
asked for a better answer.
Thank you.
So thank you. And I'll go to Stella now. Stella, as a Black woman in supply chain management, have you ever felt the need to work harder than others to prove your expertise compared to others? How have you navigated these challenges and the strategies that helped you establish credibility and success in the field?
Okay, yeah. So honestly, Abimbola pretty much summed up everything when she talked about mentality. So for me, before I moved into Canada, like, there's a lot of news about systemic racism and institutionalized racism. So you just have to like move yourself away from that space. Stop thinking that everybody's out to get you. When you keep reading these things over and over again and watching the same things and following the same people that keep emphasizing the same things, you start to have a negative stereotype associated with yourself. So the first thing I did was to break myself out of that silo of like thinking that my color limits me. No, I refuse to believe that. And I also refuse to be a victim. I think that if I were to meet 100 people in a day in Canada, and I say this very loosely because for me to meet 100 people in a day, I have to be working at a very front facing job. But if I were to meet 100 people a day, only a very small minority would like give me very negative vibes, and those ones will be very ignorant people because there are systems in place, there are resources in place to help you. There are things in place to protect you. So I just had that understanding that I'm not a victim. Like I'm not disadvantaged. I'm going into this place with confidence and I'm going to give everything my best. I'm not going to withdraw into my shell because people expect me to be a certain way. No. If I should be open to criticism, I should be able to receive correction. I shouldn't say, oh, because of you're correcting me because of my skin color. No. So that was what helped me just be open, respect other people's culture. Now we are working towards racial equality, not racial superiority. So I don't have to like impose myself on other people. So just respect all round. That really helped me to get ahead here.
Amazing, amazing. And I love that. And this line will stick with me, refuse to be a victim. So, and we'll move to Ronke. Ronke, as a Black woman in law, you navigate the intersections of race, gender, and professional expectations of a very demanding field. How have these factors shaped your career, and what challenges have you had to overcome? Additionally, have you felt you or any of your peers facing racial discrimination in your profession? Have you confronted and challenged it?
Okay, thanks so much. And I would also go in line with Stella and Abimbola. Like, it's your mindset, right? I don't see those things as discrimination. In fact, I've attended legal events, not in Calgary, outside of Calgary, where we had like 200 attendants and I was the only black female in the guest list, right? I didn't see it as a disadvantage. I saw it as an opportunity to shine. I'm like, okay, these guys are going to remember me anywhere they see me because they would know that, oh yeah, I've seen you before. And yeah, gender and race has a lot to do. It can limit you sometimes, and like I've said before, it's not their fault. Everyone have their biases. We also have our biases, right, within ourselves. In back in my country, I never thought about how I spoke or how I speak because I felt if I go for presentation, talk very fast. Everyone will hear what I'm saying, right? But when I came here, I found out that oh, I had an accent. I need to like be clearer when I'm speaking, and those things didn't affect me. When I get those feedback that oh, I couldn't really get what you were saying, could you speak slower? I'm like, okay, yeah, fine, I can do that, right? So it's just not having it at the back of your mind that someone is being racially discriminative towards you and seeing it as a point to work on yourself if if it's has something to do with your capabilities. And also for discrimination, yeah, there are times that it's subtle, right? In Canada, Canadians are very nice, so it's really subtle. The discrimination is not overt, right? People see you and like, oh, I like you, blah blah blah, but then you know that there's something they're not comfortable with, but they don't really just say it out there, right? I've heard stories of my colleagues going to court. I rarely go to the courthouse. So my colleagues going to court and the clerk would mistake them for either the accused or the defendant, right? They won't know they are the lawyers. And even though they are putting on suits, they don't go there with like just shirt and pants. They put on their suits
Mhm.
and they're like, oh yeah,
Mm.
so the defendant sits here and all that, and they're like, no, I'm not. I'm the lawyer. I'm the person representing the defendant. So it's just sometimes it can be difficult when it keeps happening, but have it at back of your mind that it's fine, right? Very soon they'll get to know that you are a lawyer and you are a professional, right? And don't let it pull you back. Don't let it make you say, oh, I'm not going to go out or I'm not going to be myself. Just continue being yourself, continue working on yourself, and you'll be fine. Thank you.
Well, amazing. I mean, and don't let it pull you back. This is amazing, and I love the fact that you told us that the people need to be called out, even if it's in softer terms. That yes, you cannot just assume that I'm a defendant or accused just because of a certain skin color or certain skin tone. And thank you for mentioning that. And I'm going back to Wilton. Wilton, in your biography, you said something very interesting. Displacement fuels innovation. I'd like to agree to that, but I would want to know what were some of the biggest obstacles you faced in launching and scaling Hutchmill Global Food. How did your experience as a refugee shape your approach to overcoming these challenges?
Thank you once again, Sumesh. To start with the obstacle, I could think of the biggest one that we face launching Ashmel is navigating the unfamiliar business landscape. Being a newcomer, starting something from new, you don't have the relationship, so you have to build it from scratch. So that was big. And the second one would be the brand awareness. We're introducing new product in the market, people don't know about it. So that also was big and is still big. And then the third one I could say it's market penetration and especially into the mainstream stores. This is still a challenge. We are not yet in bigger stores like Walmart. But one step at a time, we're breaking through, from zero presence to now being in Calgary Co-ops, Lucky Supermarket, now Field Fresh Co, and then also expanding location across Edmonton and Ontario. So for us, this is really a big progress. And in terms of the background, like my refugee background, I think, first of all, like as Ashmel, we tackle challenges as a team, which is great. But my past refugee background has taught me invaluable lessons on adaptation. Those years spent navigating system barriers have actually strengthened my resilience, ability to spot opportunities, connect, build meaningful relationships. And I see these also in the work that we do at Ashma. So, and the one that you mentioned about displacement fuel innovation, to me, when you lost everything and have to start from zero, you got to cook your mind. That's just how we say it. In displacement, you can't afford to wait for things to happen. You got to roll up your sleeve, take action. You can't wait for tomorrow, but you need to do something now as you wait. So at Ashmel, we what we do at Ashmel actually in terms of how we use our displacement to fuel innovation as newcomer, you know, we can't wait while mainstream, for example, stores still keep us on hold. What we do is we just move on, finding ways to building connections, supporting the community through donation of our products, selling to small scale retailers, individual distributors, churches, yeah, you name it. And it's kind of like looking at a challenge not as limitation, but as a master class in adaptation, I can say. So every you can't, you or we don't carry those product like yours or sidelining or in silent dismission. For us, it kind of like sharpen our vision and strategy, because
Mm.
honestly, we don't just sell product at Archmel, we sell possibility, showing others that your struggles are blueprints for creating something stronger and bigger than your circumstances.
Amazing, very well said. And if
Mm.
the panelists here, or even the audience, if you have not tasted Hajmal products, I urge you to do. I have tasted it, and they are amazing. Even my kid loves it. So I'll go to Dennis now. And Dennis, as a mentor in the CCIS Mentorship for Integration program, you play a vital role in guiding newcomer professionals. How do you support and advocate for those trying to break into corporate leadership roles? And what key lessons do you emphasize in your mentorship that you think would be beneficial to any Black professionals watching this live chat?
No, thank you so much. So when I get mentees, thanks to Sincere has been doing it. So when I get mentees, the first thing I want to make them understand is that our relationship is not just a transaction, it's a relationship, right? Because I find that many mentees just wonder, like, oh, this is my mentor, he's going to help me get a job. And once I get a job, I find my way. I try to say, I'm sorry, that is not what I'm here to do. I'm here to build a relationship with you. The other thing I let them know is that, hey, you are welcome here. You are definitely welcome here. You've moved to Canada. This is the first time, like if you're being black, you come to a country and you realize you are actually black. If you came from a black country, you never knew you were black until you moved here. If you were maybe from another country, you came here, that's when you realized you had an accent that you didn't even know you had. So the first thing, it's so easy to tell yourself that I'm not welcome here. So I try to emphasize on the point to let them know you are welcome here. Be part of the energy, be part of the network. I want them to feel like, just like everybody has said, that whole change, that whole change of mindset. What I help them to do is that, connect with different professionals, not just in your area of focus, in other places, other professionals that can help your journey. Whether they can help you with, I find those people who can help with resume updates, or I can find people who can help you with AI or things like that based on what's happening. But I try to connect you with all of that. I try to always make sure that they have an open mind. You want corporate leadership, have an open mind. You may be a manager in the country from which you've come from. Have an open mind. You might have an opportunity to start a little bit lower and grow from there, and learn things about the organization, learn things about the place. So those are kind of things I help them with. I use my story as an example. I'm glad Stella said the same thing. I was a geologist. Now I'm a banker. Like, have an open mind. I'm more fulfilled now as a banker than I was as a geologist. I use my story to help them. So I also, just like I said earlier, make them understand that it's a lifetime relationship, so that you can encode, you can put that in them, so that they also can go out and also affect other people's lives as well. Um, uh, I also, the other thing I let them to understand is that, hey, being here, somebody gave us a chance. Go out there and give others a chance. Give your time, mentor people, volunteer, be part of a board, just show up. Whether you go for networking or just show up, because sometimes we're thinking about that leader as somebody who has a role or a name in the office. But however, maybe you can even do better as a community leader. So spend that time, give your time, and give it to others. Get to know the place, get to know Canada. Canada, for most of us, we're celebrating Black History Month. Black people have settled in Canada from the 1800s. Do we know that history? So I want people. So when people, when I mentor people, these are things I want to make them think. What do you know about indigenous history? Do you know of the schools and all of those sort of things? Because I know people want to be leaders, want to have corporate titles. But I want only I one thing I understand is that the people who have relationships, the people who know the place better, become better leaders, right? So being that leader is not just about your qualification and your credentials. It's somebody that is fully grounded. So when I mentor, I want to ensure that this mentee has all of these things to think about, not just to find a job like an economic immigrant. So that's my philosophy. I use with mentoring.
Amazing, and thank you for sharing this. And open mind. This is
Mm.
something that should be shared a lot. And as you said, you might not get exactly the same position that you had before, but it's never too late to change or start afresh. And that I think will stick with me. This conversation, honestly, at least for me, and I believe it's for a lot of our listeners, our audience, whoever is watching, is an eye-opening one. Incredibly so. It's nuggets of wisdom thrown here and there, along with your own stories. So I'm really really happy that we are doing this. I wish we could go on and on. I could listen to your stories and your wisdoms of nuggets of wisdom all day, but unfortunately, we have a time constraint. So I'll limit it now to one question each to conclude our discussion. And we'll go back to Bola. If you said everybody calls you Bola, and I would like to take the liberty of calling you Bola. Bola, as Canada's healthcare landscape evolves, what key strategies should be implemented to mentor and support aspiring Black newcomer pharmacists and healthcare entrepreneurs to ensure they have access to opportunities and long term success?
Okay. Thank you so much, Somesh. I think CCIS is the first answer to the question. I would like to use this opportunity to say thank you, CCIS. Thanks for reaching out to me a couple of years ago to be a part of your mentors. You think I would be doing some group of people, maybe a group of people, a favor without knowing that you are helping me achieve my long term goal, which is to help people become a better version of themselves, which is why I decided to become a pharmacy owner. Thank you so much, CCIS. So that's the first answer to the question. So the second answer is creating more awareness. I still feel some people don't know about so many organizations that are available to help. There is, aside CCIS, there are lots of other Black pharmacy. There are a lot of Black pharmacy professional organization. Specifically, if I'm allowed, I would like to mention BPPC. We have just recently launched a mentorship program, which is mainly for pharmacists. And yeah, that would be of great help. And another thing I would like to say is, for everyone listening out there, be the help you wish you got when you just recently moved to Canada.
Mhm.
It's really hard to help everyone, but even if it's just one person a month, it would help and it would go a long way. One thing I take upon myself is when I see people drop off resumes for me, I can't employ everyone. But one thing I make sure I do is I give them a call. I reach out to them. Even if it's 5 minutes, even if it's 10 minutes, even if it's 30 minutes, I never leave everyone. I never leave anyone same way they dropped their resume. I make sure I give a piece of advice. I make sure I try to connect them to someone who might be able to help. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, CCIS.
Well, amazing. And let me tell our audience that this was not intended for our own praise. And thank you, all the participants, for doing that. But yes, let's get back focus on Black History Month and achievement of Black newcomers here. So, Stella, for newcomers looking to pivot into a new career path, as you have successfully done, the journey can feel overwhelming. What advice would you give to those seeking a major career shift? And what specific resources or networks would you recommend for them in successful transition?
Well, okay. First, I would say is set realistic goals, set smart goals. I mean, I cannot say I want to be a doctor in the next 2 years. That's not going to be possible. And I know that they say you can be anything you want to be, but come on, I mean, I can't be a doctor in 2 years, So I'm not going to frustrate myself with goals that are not smart, goals that are not achievable. So I'm going to set, I would advise that you set, know where you are and know where you want to be. Check how many qualifications you have, how many of those requirements you meet. And know if it's something that you can afford to do at the time, or maybe you can just like get a support role instead. For instance, if you're a medical doctor, you could become like a medical support assistant, something that's like still in the medical field, but not very intensive, something that is more achievable. And secondly, I would say some resources I would say you really need. I think process improvement certificates are really, really helpful, regardless of wherever you're coming from. Um, Things like Lean Six Sigma, very helpful certificate. It helps you to get established in any field. I also say being a Scrum Master is great. Like you might not have the hands-on experience for the field that you want to go, but these certifications can support you. Like they can make you more employable in where you're looking to go. Data analysis is a great knowledge to have. If you can get a couple of certifications there as well. And then you also have mentors. Mentorship is great. Like reach out to people that have walked the path before you. Like what I used to do was that I'll go online, I go on LinkedIn, I'll go to industries that I want to be, and then I check their leaders. I check the kind of qualifications they have, how long it took for them to get there, what common thing do they all have. And I know that that's my first step to moving into that field. So do your own research, know what are the requirements of where you're going to, and I think that's going to guide people that want to pivot.
Well, thank you, Stella. And as you said, setting realistic goals. Oftentimes, we dream of doing something, right? And those are dreams because, as somebody said, real dreams are the ones that keep you awake, and the ones you see when you're awake are the dreams you should be pursuing. And then, and you also mentioned that look for mentorship and look for getting education in the proper field. So which is amazing, and I'm sure is going to help a lot of our uh, newcomers. And I'll go to Ronke now. Ronke, representation in law is critical for fostering a more inclusive and equitable system. What legacy do you hope to leave in terms of increasing Black representation in the legal profession in Canada? And furthermore, how can newcomers leverage their international legal experience to successfully integrate into the same profession in Canada?
Okay, so increasing Black representation in the Canadian legal profession, it's not a personal goal, it's a collective mission, right? We need to do it just to build the equitable society, so we're not in a disadvantage. So I hope to leave a legacy that not only just open doors, but also makes the doors stay open, right? And I do that by trying to mentor people that you need to, as Dennis has said it already, you need to put yourself out there, you need to network, you need to volunteer volunteer to be on the boards of your community, your children's school, you know, let that representation start with you. Because when I came, one of my mentors said I should look at different companies and try and search for those that have someone that looks like me. And I started with the big firms, and at a point I'm like, you know what, there's no point. I would go for the smaller firms because I wasn't seeing people that I could really connect with. The ones I saw were either legal assistants or articling students, and they didn't really have a say, right? So we need to start doing things ourselves. We need to start being present, right? Volunteering for stuff, being on the executive positions. I tell people when you join a group, don't just join and be a member. Try to aspire to become an executive because really those people that are executives on boards, it's not like they have two heads or anything. You know, most of them are actually just learning, and I did it. I joined. I'm not a litigator, but I joined the civil trials lawyers board. I was on the board for 2 years. I was on their seminar committee, and it wasn't my field, right? But I learned a lot by being there. You know, listening to what people are saying. I really learned a lot, and I wouldn't even say it was a waste of my time because it gave me an advantage. So I keep telling people. join committees, put yourself out there, because it starts with us. If each and every one of us in our space decide to go for these things, then those that are coming beneath us, they would know, they can look and see, oh, I can see someone that looks like me. I can easily reach out to this person, and this person will be able to lift me up. So yeah, that's my take on it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ronke. And humble that she is, I asked her, what legacy do you hope? And she quietly shifted it and talked about what everybody has been doing. So, so thank you. And this is lawyers, right? They know which one to dodge. So I truly respect that. Wilton, your turn. And many Black newcomers dream of starting their own business, and they're audacious enough to dream, but often they feel discouraged by systemic challenges. How do you use your platform to inspire and support aspiring Black entrepreneurs? What key advice would you offer to those looking to follow in your footsteps?
So yeah, thank you so much for the question. For yes, many Black entrepreneurs or many Black newcomers actually, face a lot of systemic challenge when they move in here. But to be true, it's all about, as mentioned by earlier on, like it's all about mindsets at time. It's reframing how we look at those barriers. Sometimes these barriers are just opportunity in disguise. So if we approach it with the right mindset. So for us at Archmel, we use our company as a stage actually to amplify real life journeys, like sharing the raw and feel moments of setbacks and successes. We hope this will inspire fellow aspiring entrepreneurs that they too can do it if we can. So the other thing also, we partner with our existing fellow Black entrepreneurs, collaborating, supporting their cause where needs be, maybe through the supply of our products or donation. So these are all ways that we can do to support. My key advice to those looking to follow my footstep, I would say, first thing is own your story. Every challenge you face is a chapter, in a story that no one else can tell but you. So your experience on they're not just obstacle to overcome. Look at them like as your unique foundation to build on. And the other thing I would say is don't see your differences as a disadvantage. They're actually your competitive edge. So the very experience that make you, for example, feel like an outsider. These are the things that give you that unique perspective to build solution that people who feel like they are the insiders don't know that it exists. And don't just try to fit into the pre-established molds. That's my kind of way I look at it. Remember, for example, like integration isn't assimilation. That's one thing you should remember. It's finding where your edges fit the mosaic. So don't be afraid to question the status quo, reimagine, reconstruct what success look like for you as individual. So those are the advice that I would kind of share. And the last one is reframe the way you look at problems. Don't see them as really problem. Look at them as challenge, because if it is challenge, then you can work to overcome it and cultivate genuine connection, as Dennis mentioned earlier. Progress isn't done in isolation. As the saying goes, your network is your net worth. So, yeah.
Amazing, amazing. And then I love the line where he said, own your story. And that's your distinct advantage. And also move to Dennis. Dennis, beyond career success, building a lasting legacy is essential for long-term impact for any community. What actionable steps can Black professionals in Canada take to ensure they leave a meaningful imprint in their industries and open doors for future generations?
Uh, so my mom never went to school. She never went to school, but in the community we lived, and even though she passed many years ago, her name still goes on. right? Because of the what she did in community, serving the people in community. Uh, so going beyond career success, be all of that, I think it's making an impact where you find yourself, right? Whether at work, be the best at it, give your best that people know that there's something different about you. As Black people, I always say that in us is like all the genes that have happened through like slavery and all of those sort of things. In our genes is resilience, in our genes is hope, in our genes is the power we don't say no. Like when we should use all of those things to make a difference in every community we find ourselves, whether like we're looking at helping younger people that have missed their way. Let us make a difference wherever we find ourselves. It doesn't it might be the smallest thing, whether maybe you are the call center or you're something, but we can make a difference in those places. If we continue to make those differences, we're opening doors for the generation of people that will come after us. Just like I said earlier, people like if you think about people like John Ware, where people would Black people would tread this land, right? They left a lasting legacy. They left a lasting imprint. So I think it is on us to do the same thing, because if we don't make that impact here, then it's also going to affect the people that will come before us. We're talking about all of this, like if I think about maybe as a lawyer or maybe a pharmacist, think about 20 years ago how difficult it would have been to even practice law. But there are people who went into it and say, hey, we need to make a change to this process. Through their hard work and perseverance, they did that change. Today, we're benefiting from it. So I always am asking myself, what can I do today so that person who comes tomorrow has it a little bit better? I think if we have that mindset of wanting to give, wanting to make a difference wherever we find ourselves, we will be creating a lasting impact. We will be making the lives of those who will come before after us better. So that would be my advice to every Black professionals: create an impact where you are, do something good, and be memorable.
Thank you. Amazing, amazing. And
Mhm.
and there's a question from one of our audiences. As a newcomer to Canada, and feel free, anybody can answer this. As a newcomer to Canada, I'm a non-profit professional looking for a mentor from non-profit industry. Do any one of you have any suggestion?
Okay, if I could take that. I'm currently in the non-profit industry. World Vision Canada is a company that supports vulnerable children across the world. So I wouldn't know what area this person is looking for mentorship in. However, if the person could provide more details. But one thing I would say is that if you want to go into the non-for-profit industry, you have to have a mind of service. It's not like you said, it's not for profit, like it's about what you can do to make your community better. And it has to also be reflected in every area of your life, you're not just going to work to grow your career and make money. You're going to see that you're leaving a lasting impact. So, but the person could just drop more details and I could provide more information.
Okay, thank you, Stella, for taking this. And I haven't had enough of this conversation, so I'll drop one more question, and this is an open question. Anyone, because we are again short of time as well, so I would like to maybe quick answer from two people, and if there's no controversy in the conversation, what's the point, right? So so diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives have opened doors for many Black professionals and newcomers. Yet recently, DEI has faced criticism and in some cases has also been scaled back. So quickly, I would like to get your perspective on what's your take on the current state of DEI.
Okay, can I say something?
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
Well, I'm not a DEI professional, so my opinions will be my opinions, right? So, what I would say that I think that the drawbacks with DEI and all that, just like with everybody has said, or just like even Wilton said, this is one of those situations where sometimes we now start thinking, oh, they've come against me again, right? This is so. First of all, I think we need to deal with the mindsets and to say, hey, this is an opportunity to show why we matter. This is an opportunity to show that Black excellence. That this is opportunity to say, wow, this is why we need more Black people, right? So I think that I know, like for many people, it has been seen as as a problem, but let's see it as an opportunity to show who we truly are. That whether we're displaced from war-torn places, we still show up and we still shine. Whether we move from biology to logistics, we still show up, we still shine. Whether we're starting a business, like I think that we have this is a right opportunity for us to show the difference what we can make in the community. It's not about people just giving you handouts, not about giving you positions because of you are Black, right? If people have that feeling, then I think we defeat the ideology of every person who's come before us who've worked really hard to make a difference. So for me, I think like I am using this as an opportunity to say, hey, I want to let you know why you need more of us. I need to let you know why the workplace needs to be diverse because of it brings in innovation, it brings in good ideas, and it brings in growth. So I'm going to look at it more as an opportunity than taking it as a challenge.
Wow. Thank you. And it was really nice of you to include everyone's experience in that. So thank you. Thank you. Amazing. And on this positive note, what an incredible conversation we've had today. From personal journeys of resilience to the impact each of our panelists make in their communities. We hope you have found this discussion valuable and gained some insights on how Black newcomers are shaping success and leaving lasting legacies in powerful ways. A huge thank you to our amazing panelists, and if I may pronounce it wrong, please forgive me. Abimbola Fawumi, Stella Okunoye, Ronke Omorodion, Wilton Otto, and Dennis Agbegha for sharing your stories, wisdom, and experience with us. And to our lovely audience, thank you for joining us. We'll have more sessions on different issues as always. Also, to let you know that we are hosting a Black History Month panel on February 25, themed Seeing and Being Seen Black Professionals on Identity, Inclusion, and Success, featuring Dr. Sei Akinola, family physicians and clinical assistant professor at the University of Calgary, Galila Mast, senior manager at TD Bank, Dr. Abby Sherinet, educator and moderator, by our colleague Dr. Sinela Jurkova, diversity education lead at CCIS. We invite you to join us once again as we reflect on topics such as racial and ethnic identity, career preparation, facing challenges, feeling heard and valued, and perceptions of color blindness. The link to register as well as more information will be posted in the comment section below. Finally, we'd like to remind you that CCIS is committed to supporting newcomer professionals in Canada through various programs and services. If you're in need of employment assistance or have any questions about the resources available to you, please visit our website or call us. You'll find our website link and contact details in our comment section. For newcomers living in the northwest of Calgary, a reminder that service appointments and walk-ins are currently available at our northwest location at Crowfoot. Kindly call us to book an appointment. Again, the link is in the comment section. Thanks again for joining us, and we look forward to connecting with you all soon. From me, Somesh, have a great rest of the day. It was my pleasure to moderate this talk. Thank you again.